growth.
Ooh.
That we both have a personal commitment to
Yes.
growth in all aspects of life. That's growth in mental, physical, emotional, spiritual growth.
Energetic,
Yes.
financial growth, just always growing. We feel like if you're not growing, you're dying. If you look at a flower out there or a tree, if it's not growing, what is it doing? It's done.
It's dying. And again, these are super important to us in our relationship, right? So they might not be yours, but this whole video, this whole concept is to really get you to think about like, what is really important to me? What matters to me? And making a list about those things so that you and your partner can talk about it. Or if you're still working on manifesting your dream partner, you know ahead of time what your values are so that you can more easily align with that person. Because man, when you know what your values are, it is a game changer when it comes to being able to say like, yeah, let's move forward, or hey, like walk away with love.
And to give you some examples as to how maybe like growth looks like on a day-to-day, at least with us. And a lot of people have been wanting to see behind closed doors is like, what do you guys do? So like, for example, obviously when it comes to physical, we dedicate, Rachel's a little bit better than I am on this. She always makes sure she moves in the morning. She knows that's important to her. And so she has to move and do some yoga and sprints and do what she needs to do. I am about, if she works out every day, I probably work out 3 to 4 times a week. And I am, give myself loving kindness for that. And sometimes it's 2 times out of the week, depending on my schedule, but it's about personal commitment. So it's there. We focus on being 1% better every day in every quadrant. So, we can maybe even touch on like the physical, the mental or emotional.
Well, and it's super important to know, right? Like I've been in past relationships where they made me feel less than or not good enough for their growth or their personal commitments. And we're not saying that at all, right? And we'll get into that later, but it's having your own commitment to personal growth and then talking about it with each other and holding each other accountable. So I tell him ahead of time, moving in the mornings is super important to me. So he knows that, so that like, regardless of what's going on, he knows like, oh, she's got to move in the morning, and it doesn't become a conflict because that sometimes used to be conflict. And so I think it's really important to talk about what's important to you, what makes you the best you, so that you can know that for each other and then hold each other accountable to stick to those things, because sometimes we don't, and then we're not our best selves, and then we can't show up for the relationship in the best way.
Yeah, and when she started talking about us being in conflict a little bit, it was like, we have so many things going on, and it was like I needed her attention on some things, or I wanted to ask her a question about something, but like she needs that 1 hour, 2 hours, whatever it is, to really like get connected, get aligned, feel good about herself. Because if she's tapped in, then she's gonna show up better for the rest of the day, for me, for you guys, for our friends, our family, etc. And so, at first I'm like, I really need her attention on some stuff. And so when we started to have that friction, that leads into like how we grow mentally and emotionally, right? When she brings something to me and there's some conflict, if I'm causing that conflict or if somebody else is causing that conflict, she's able to know that that she can express that, and I can create a safe space for her. It's not about being right or wrong. It's just about, look, at the end of the day, if there's some conflict, there's probably a situation at the root of it where she doesn't feel safe, seen, heard, or loved. And it may be me because I'm trying to do some things, and she's like, she may not express it to me, but I may feel like, she probably doesn't feel safe because I'm like the tiger right now and she's in a fight or flight situation. So, we've learned to where, okay, sensing that she may express that. And I think it's important for the women to like express things, because we can't read minds, right?
This is such a huge thing when it comes to growth, right? Like if I never expressed what was important to me, that like I need to do this to feel like my best self and that I'm growing, I can't ever hold him accountable for knowing that until I say it. Sometimes I think we, especially women, can fall into this trap of assuming that they know that the guy or girl knows everything that's going on in our brains, and they don't. Nobody knows until we fully communicate what's important. Really understanding that growth is a key element, I think, to any really healthy, supportive relationship is, and it might look different for everybody, but it is that personal commitment to growth.